creature. I ought to be thy Adam, but I am rather the fallen angel, whom thou drivest from joy for no misdeed. Everywhere I seek bliss from which I alone am irrevocably excluded. I was benevolent and good. Misery made me a fiend.
So says the monster atop an alpine peak in Chapter 10 of Mary Shelley's novel, Frankenstein. You've seen the creature, the pale green skin, the flat-topped head, the bolts in the neck, those sad, weary eyes. But for the last century of pop culture, the world has not heard him speak. Shelley's monster is an eloquent beast, a creature shown to be capable of complex thought to the degree of any man. But since the Universal monster movies of the 1930s, the popular image of Frankenstein's monster has been a mute one. A groaning, brooding hulk of inelegant flesh incapable of complex thought or agile movement. A lumbering precursor to George Romero's Living Dead. A shambling, defanged brute with a touch of pathos, merely hinting at the depth of tragedy within. The most popular depiction of Frankenstein's monster comes from the 1931 film. Following the success of Universal's Dracula, the studio fast-tracked a cohort of monster movies, eventually building the first true multimedia franchise. This series consisted of The Mummy, The Bride of Frankenstein, and The Wolfman, among others. Universal's Frankenstein creation, portrayed by Boris Karloff, departed from the Mary Shelley original in many ways. Karloff's monster was a 7-foot-tall statue, capable only of grunts and yells. Yet somehow, despite this immense departure, the film retains shreds of the monster's humanity. He exhibits a childlike wonder, a wish to be accepted, and his gentle spirit is only hampered by his uncontrollable animalistic rage.
It's alive! Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! Oh, in the name of God! Now I know what it feels like to be God! Oh.
In the 1950s, a new reign of monster films began with Hammer Film Productions' Curse of Frankenstein, starring Peter Cushing as the Doctor and Sir Christopher Lee as his hideous creature. Although this film takes the source material in yet another new direction, the monster again remains voiceless.
You're quiet. Cat got your tongue?
This creature is even less humanized than Karloff's. There is the taste of undeniable evil in his actions, and while he is still a being brought to life against his will, this is a monster which is far more difficult to pity. He makes few choices of his own, and at times is little more than a weapon to be steered in any direction by his maniacal creator.
Is this your creature of superior intellect? Your perfect physical being, this animal? Ask it a question of advanced physics. It's got a brain with a lifetime of knowledge behind it. It should find it simple.
Shall I tell you something, Paul? There you see the result of your handiwork as much as mine. Oh, yes. I gave him life. I put a brain in his head. But I chose a good brain, a brilliant one. It was you who damaged it. You who put a bullet in the wretched thing. This is your fault, Paul.
But there is one high-profile adaptation which attempts to do the creature's literary counterpart justice. The loud, messy, bombastic, Kenneth Branagh-directed adaptation titled Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which features a remarkable Robert De Niro as the pivotal creation. In many ways the most faithful film adaptation to date, Branagh's Frankenstein portrays the creature as a vengeful, lonely abomination, desperate for companionship, and capable of expressing his anguish through Shelley's gorgeous language by way of Frank Darabont's script.
Get up. Get up.
You do speak.
Yes, I speak. And read. And think. And know the ways of man.
And yet, no adaptation has yet achieved the eloquent fury and beautiful complexity of Mary Shelley's original monster. In Branagh's Frankenstein, the creature's intelligence can be attributed to the brain which was implanted in his skull.
Not things learned so much as things remembered.
Trace memories in the brain, perhaps.
Did you ever consider the consequences of your actions? You gave me life, and then you left me to die.
But when reading the novel, the character leaps off the page with a power all his own, at times even more vividly than Victor Frankenstein does. No film has yet pitted these two characters against one another, quite like Shelley did. And maybe that's for the best. Each adaptation has something to offer. Each is a gorgeous approach to the source material in its own right. Each explores the text's themes from varying angles, faithful in spirit, even when they falter in facts. And that is precisely what makes them each valuable. I'm thankful for the Karloff monster for its iconography, the Lee monster for its psychopathic violence, the De Niro monster for its vulnerable, righteous fury. And Shelley's stands ahead above the rest, untouchable, just as he was created to be, just as he was damned to be, forever alone.